You've probably heard this line. I attempted my first Pokemon Nuzlocke over and over. Unfortunately, you're stuck hearing it again. However, in this Nuzlocke, aka if your Pokemon faints, they die, is a Nuzlocke unlike any other. You've absolutely seen the typical single-player Nuzlocke. You might have seen even a Soul Link. but this is special. Okay, actually it's a 3-player Nuzlocke. The 4th person bailed. I was gonna say a 4-person, but it's 3 people. Yeah, that's right. Not only were we challenged with the weight of completing a typical Nuzlocke, but we also had the extra weight of 3. I wrote the script before the other person ditched 2 other people on our back. Many of the rules are pretty standard, but there are some that are just a little bit different. We are running the Dupes Clause, but the big thing about that is Dupes Clause runs between the 4 of us, which means if Fish catches an Eevee, then Cov or my salty ass unfortunately can't get one, meaning we have to find something else on that route to catch. Trading is allowed between us, allowing us to help fill out our teams more equally if the occasion occurs. The Nuzlocke will end if either 1, we all die, or 2, at least one of us beats the game. Yeah, the whole game. We start off the journey by, of course, picking our starters. I get a Sprigatito, of course, look at my fucking character design, named Smike, but I later rename him to something much more original and much more funny. Weed funny. Cov takes a Fuecoco, named Later, and Fish gets a Quaxley named Donald D. Appropriately and very fitting, might I add. We have our first battle with our pest of a neighbor, who wants nothing more than to just annoy us. Ammonia, or Nemo? Phenomia? Nemona? Who cares? It's one of the most intense... Oh wait, never mind. She picks the weaker one, so it's said and done. Easy win. After we battle Baloney, we all catch our first Pokemon. Cov gets a Pommy named Rat, I get a Tarantula named Yarnacle, and Fish gets a Fletchling named Go Fletch. We get to the next route, and as we know, we won't be finding one for a while until, we do the entire school sequence, which is super fun and doesn't drag on at all. We pick our next Pokemon. Fish gets a Ralts. Yeah, I know, that's fucking awesome, right? Ralts at like the beginning of the game. Anyways, he gets a Ralts named Mystic, which is pretty cool. I get a Wooper who I name Water Bucket, like Water Bucket of Axolotl, but Water Bucket of Wooper. Huh? Minecraft nerds, you out there? And Cov also gets a duck, just like Fish. But this one's not Quaxley, or that's literally its name. Physically and metaphorically, he's actually a Psyduck, named not Quaxley. I know, confusing. Like an idiot, I accidentally walk just close enough to the school gates and trigger the Bologna battle. Oh. She can Terrasilize. That's not good. We haven't even learned how to Terrasilize yet. Calm down. What kind of monster are you? Oh god, I'm under-leveled. Oh, actually, it turns out okay. I'm super effective against the Quaxley with my Weed Funny, and as for her Electric Rat, she can't do anything to our boy Water Bucket. He's a fucking legend, dude. Cov, even higher level than I was, just joins me and we both crushed the battle. Honestly, if it weren't for Water Bucket, we probably would have failed right then and there. That would have been so embarrassing. Pfft, at least none of us lost. Just change it. Essentially, Terrasilization changes your...
Donald D just died, guys. I did not do it. No.
He died?
Oh no. He died. I actually might die.
Stucking the second battle.
I was Mystic too.
You lost your Ralts as well?
Dude, I heard I'm out. I died.
Yeah. So, after dealing with the 2-hour intro sequence, we just ended up letting Fish have like one more life. I promise this doesn't happen again. It's very early in the run, and it was kind of funny. Because now we can just tease him the whole time and tell him that he actually should have lost and that he sucks. The only guideline we gave him is that he had to sacrifice a Pokemon, which ended up being his Fletchling, and then he has to take her on again. Oh, Fisher, are you in the city now?
Yeah.
So you beat Ammonia? No, he did not. Fish never actually ever battled her again. The cutscene pushes you to the next scene, so he never beat her, he just claimed he did. Or he never even did that. He just didn't mention it or reply at all when that type of question was asked. He just said he was in the city, which is pretty cool. That was pretty sly, Fish. For what it's worth, Team Starter Encounter wasn't a large problem for anyone. Actually, except for me. I wanted to test Water Bucket's abilities. I may or may not have put him in danger, and he almost died or whatever from a pretty heavy hit. And then I swapped out my cat, and then ultimately it just wasn't an issue. We were actually fine after that. After that, we go through the entire long, super duper long sequence of the school. We get our bikes, and now we have a whole world to capture Pokemon in. So many options, we can do anything. What do we do first? Well, considering the gym is our next target, it's time to catch some more Pokemon. Catching this Pokemon is even more important for Fish, who currently only has 2 Pokemon at this point. So we head to South Providence 4, where I'd catch a Shinx, who I name it after Kyle, named Kyle Gothic.
No, don't name him that. No, I'm not a freaking whatever that is.
It's an edgy lion.
It doesn't look edgy. It looks kawaii desu.
Luxray?
Oh, it falls into Lux. Oh god, that is it. That's like Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yes, that is why I called it.
No, that's fine.
Fish also catches a Makihita, who he names Macho Man. Kav, on the other hand, this is where things began to change for this run. Kav begins his downward spiral of what I could only consider misfortune. And it all begins here, on Province South 4. I actually don't remember the name. He finds a level 13 Cloth, and his Pokemon are around that level, but that's still pretty fucking strong. And it immediately one-hit KOs his Fuecoco. I mean, yeah, it's a rock type, so... Either way, he doesn't want to take any other risks, and he bails from the battle, missing his encounter for this route, and he's down 2 Pokemon, actually, from this. He didn't just miss a Pokemon, he lost his Fire-type starter. That would have been great for the first 2 gyms. With Fish and I, though, happy with our new friends, and, you know, Kav, who's also there, we head to the other side, Province, I think it's 2, and we make our way to the gym. In this area, we get more encounters. 2 sets of encounters, actually, in South Province 2 and in West something. However, in South Province 2, Fish is dead set on finding himself a Rockruff. It's his second favorite Pokemon behind Jolteon, and I lead him over to where they spawn. Kav finds this obscure tower that I may or may not have told him to go up. I totally didn't troll him to tell him to go up there for a cool item. He got really excited, like super excited about seeing a chest, and he goes to open it, and it's a Mimic. He just wasn't having it. Still disappointed, but not wanting to lose, he does attempt to catch it, but it escapes the ball over and over, and Kav resorts to killing it because he'd rather it die than his Psyduck. Now he's pretty much in the same position Fish was earlier. He's down to 2 Pokemon on his team. By the time Kav fails another catch, Fish and I have already made our way to the land of Rockruffs. Fish actually sees a Rockruff and jumps over to it gleefully. But unfortunately, this isn't just the land of rocky dogs. It's also full of weird chickens and elephants and all sorts of other things. His glee is quickly stripped away from him when a Phanpy jumps in the road and slams into him. I actually end up feeling pretty bad for Fish, so I go up and walk up to the Rockruff. I literally lob a Pokeball. It's not even a worry, and I catch it. I throw it into my PC and store it for Fish to trade in the future when he catches the Phanpy. He does not catch the Phanpy. Kav, his bad luck continues, and his only chance to do anything at this point is to go into West Province and take on a Misdreavus. While Kav takes it on, Fish and I spend some time leveling up our Pokemon to be ready for the gym battle against Katie, who happens to be the Bug-type gym leader. Kav ends up losing his Psyduck to the Misdreavus, and with only 1 Pokemon left, he's just done. He's accepted his fate. Fish and I end up actually persuading him to not just give up and to flee. Just run from the battle, dude. Like, get out of there. And we're like, dude, even if you have just 1 Pokemon, it would be a crazy comeback story. Kav actually ends up agreeing and runs from the battle, because why not see how far Pommy can take him? Turns out, not very far. I think Kav's bored and he wants to lose.
How do you plead, Kav?
Fine. I ran away with my rat.
Yay!
Good boy.
Oh, never mind. Couldn't run away. I'm gone.
No way! With Kav out of the run, granted so should Fish, but you know, whatever. Fish and I, with our Pokemon now leveled around 13 to 14, are ready to take on Katie. I've yet to lose a single Pokemon, and Fish is already down quite a few. And as the battle begins, things actually start out pretty smoothly for the 2 of us. I start to feel pretty confident in this, as neither of us have lost a single Pokemon, as she sends out her final one, a Teddiursa. Also, like, she's a bug type, and I love bug types, but they're kind of frail. But this Teddiursa, this thing's not frail, let me tell you that much. She crystallizes, and it goes from its traditional normal typing into a bug. What a surprise, she's a bug-type gym leader. And she uses Fury Cutter over and over and over. This single move tears apart Fish's remaining Pokemon, and he loses. Just crumbles. With him out, twice actually, he lost twice. It's just down to me, and I don't have any Pokemon that are really all that great against bug types, except for that Rockruff, who I put in a box because I felt bad for Fish, who I now really feel like might have saved me from this oncoming onslaught. Sprigatito is pretty much useless here, being weak to bug types, and the others can still kind of hold their ground. I attack with Water Bucket, who's a poison type, who I assume is probably the best bet for this battle. Unfortunately, that isn't the case, and Water Bucket is quickly spilled into a puddle, and it's down to the last three. Kyle Gothic, who I crystallize, and Yarnaby do their best, but they also falter to the Teddy Ursa. Now down to half health, all I have is Weed Funny. While I know my chances are low, I have a little plan. I decide to cheese the battle and search my bag for an X defense that I acquired some time ago while wandering around to level up. You know, while Kav was dying. This was my plan. I stack up that X defense and put on a hearty shield. The X defense goes on, and Teddy Ursa uses Fury Cutter, one-shotting Weed Funny. Even with the X defense, he was no match. As Weed Funny falls, like Fish and Kav, I too black out. We failed our Scarlet Violet Nuzlocke run. There was nothing impressive, there was no stakes, we weren't near the end, we hadn't proved ourselves of anything. Technically speaking, neither Fish or Kav made it to the gym. Even with a second life, Fish failed. And I managed to have all my Pokemon still alive and still managed to crumble to the one bug-type Teddy Ursa. How embarrassing is that?